Hey everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and I'm going to do a little bit of scenic aging on the Karmann Ghia Rally Car. Now, the graphics and paint and everything came out fantastic on the car, but I don't want it to look like it was freshly done, and quite frankly, it does. So I'm going to go back and use some techniques that I learned when I was working up in Hollywood doing props and set dressing and that sort of thing, and I'm going to age it down just a little bit so that it looks a little more authentic and looks like maybe it just came off the race back in the 1950s. So rock and roll, let's go mess this thing up. So what I have done is I've gone down to Lowe's and I've grabbed some dirt colors. These are just the sample color pieces that you can get. I picked kind of a light beige and a darker brown and then something kind of in between. Now, the Mexican race doesn't go through mud, not usually. It's mostly a desert race. So I'll probably use very little of that dark color, but the sort of sandy colors that would certainly be on a car that had been in that race, I will definitely apply. And my application tools here are squirt bottles. So I'm going to thin down this paint, put it into these bottles so that I can kind of spray it on, mist it on, and then slowly build it up over time so that it looks like a pretty consistent, natural layer of dirt. So I have poured a little bit of that in there. I'm going to put the lid on it, shake it up, and then give it a little test spray and see what it looks like. So I've got a little mix in here. I've shaken it up pretty well. And I'm going to try it on an inconspicuous spot down below and just see if we can tell the difference if it looks like dirt. And sure enough, that's actually pretty darn good. And as that dries, it'll darken just a little bit. I can do a little bit of spray on the bumpers and stuff, and as well on the wheels, right? We really want this thing to look like it had been through a race, and aging that down a little bit is going to help quite a bit. So I'm going to go and apply a bit of this down below and see if we can age this a bit. And then I'll stand back and show you the completed result when I've got it. All right, what do you think, Astrid? She doesn't care. Okay, I've kind of done the first pass with my mix of light dirt, and you can already see it starting to dry here on the darker stuff. And it's going to look pretty realistic, I think. And with a couple more passes, it'll age it down a little bit. I did get a little wet along the bottom there. I don't think that's going to create an issue. But the goal is to make the letters and stuff not look so fresh. A little bit of staining on there, a little bit of dirt is going to go a long way in making this thing look a little bit more authentic. Overall, I think it's going to be fantastic, but just aging it down a tiny bit is going to make a huge difference in the overall presentation. Stuff like these new wheels, well, aging those things down just a little bit, it's going to help an awful lot. All right, now I have mix number 2. I'm going for the darkest of the 3 colors right now, and I'm going to put that on there and see how that looks. So again, starting out down low, we can kind of see, well, if I open this up, there we go. Oh yeah, we can see a little darker. Awesome. Liking it. Okay, so I'm going to do a pass all the way around here, see what that looks like. If I can keep the dog off of it, we'll have a good finish here. But already you can kind of see the aging on the bottom there. You can see a little bit of dirt. This is going to look fantastic. Now going out from a little bit farther away with more of a wet drop, since the front of the car gets probably the most beat, kind of coming back from a distance and spraying it will give a bunch of little pock marks and things like that that are really going to make it look like it's been, well, driven. And that's the goal. And already you can kind of see it. I'm loving the way this is coming out. Now I'm also going to go after the windshield just for some fun effect and watch what I do here. So I'm going to spray a little bit of this muck on there, not too heavy. And then I'm going to wipe it where the wipers would go, so that it builds up a little bit of a spot there. Let's see here. Something like that. Natural little wiper swipe. And as that dries, it's going to look fantastic. Now I'll go back and actually clean some of it so I can see out. But it's all about having that effect. Awesome. That's going to be really cool, especially when I come back with a rag. Wipe this out a little bit so I can see out a little clearer. And I might put another layer in there as well. But I think that'll look really cool. But overall, you can kind of see the aging down here low. Again, I'm not going super crazy. This isn't a car that would have been in a race through mud and that sort of thing. I just want to give it a little bit of road grime and stuff down below. And you can already see the results of what's going on there with it kind of yellowing a little bit more as it goes to the bottom, giving it that dirty look. And I'm digging on it. So I've got one more color to go. It's a little bit lighter color. I'm going to do one more round with it. I'm going to play around a little bit with the windows and stuff as well. But you can already see that aging process there and how it's looking. So not everybody will dig this, but I don't care because I'm doing this for me, not for you. But I'm kind of digging the dirty look myself. Okay, final color is the lightest of them all, and this will be a little layer of light dust over the dark dirt there. So I'm going to mix this up in the sprayer and go after it. Now I ended up getting a fair bit of overspray up here on the roof when I was doing the windshield, and a little bit of that is okay, but I think it's maybe just a little too much. It looks a little too obvious. Fortunately, this is a water-based paint, and so it's fairly easy to do something to trim that down a little bit, to go after it and get some of that off of there. So I'm going to lighten up that a little bit so it doesn't look quite so messy. Need to wet my towel again here, it looks like. But I think it'll end up looking a little bit better with a little less spray on the roof. But everything else, the windshield, I think is looking really cool. I think the dirt down at the bottom is looking good. Overall, I'm pretty pleased. So this is the image that I had in my head when I first came across this Karmann Ghia. I don't know where this wacky image came from, but here it is. We've made it a reality, taken this fun little Karmann Ghia, done a budget paint job on it, some incredible hand lettering, some faux patina when it comes down to the dirt. That is not real dirt, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hollywood action used house paint that's been thinned way down and squirted through a spray bottle to try to give it a realistic race car look, as if it was fresh off of the course at the La Carrera Panamericana. So certainly a fun project, creative one for me. Really enjoyed putting this thing together. I have more details to do to it, but this is overall the basics of what's going on. I hope you enjoy my creativity here when it comes to the car. It's certainly been fun to put it together. I've got my old race helmet in there. I've got some old maps. I've got a whole variety of props to go with it. And now I'm going to go kick up some real dust on top of the fake dust here on the Karmann Ghia. Thanks so much for watching. Keep on digging them up and driving them. Bye-bye.